Welcome to the video. In this video, I want to focus on one of the types of interview questions, and I think we can divide interview questions into three different categories, starting with the introduction questions. Also, they have the skill-based questions, and lastly, the behavioral or situational questions. And of course, there are different questions as well, like case interview, nonsense questions, and so on. But these are the three major categories. And in this video, I'll be focusing on the introduction questions and the rationale behind why they ask these questions. What is the purpose? What are they trying to get at by asking the introduction questions? And I'll also show you some examples that are widely used. I'm Professor Job Offer, and I've spent the last 10 years with a number of Forbes Global 2000 companies, and I've also been an interviewer for different companies as well. And I'm here to share with you my tips and tricks on landing your next job offer. So, the interview question type, introduction questions. Let's take a look at some examples to start. Well, first and foremost, the most popular and the most famous question, tell me about yourself, right? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Tell me about a specific experience from your CV or resume. It could be a work experience or volunteer experience. Anything on your resume is a fair game. And why did you choose to major in whatever you did in college or university? So what is the rationale behind these questions? Why do they ask us these questions and give us a headache? Well, first and foremost, to get an idea of your personality. And when we say personality, we're talking about how an individual thinks, feels, and behaves. So by getting a measure of what you're like, what your personality is like, they can get an idea of whether you'd be a good fit with a company and with a team as well. Second reason, it's to verify your credentials and experiences. And anything on your resume really, but specifically talking about your education, your work experience, and volunteer experiences, because people have lied on their resume, on their documents, to make themselves more attractive. So by asking some basic introduction questions, they can get a sense of whether whatever you have on the documents are indeed real. And lastly, probably the most important reason, I would think, the reason why they ask these introduction questions is for reporting. What I mean by that is it's because it's the interviewer's job. That's why they ask it. If it was not part of their job, very unlikely that they're going to ask these questions. And this is critical because by knowing that this is an interviewer's job to ask you or ask the interviewees introduction questions, you have to keep in mind that you have to try to make their job a lot easier by having the relevant and proper story, by clearly communicating, and maybe even using some gestures when necessary, and by clearly organizing, by also well organizing your stories and your answers to make the interviewer's job easier. And one of the techniques we recommend and we see a lot of successful candidates use is the STAR technique. And if you want to get more information on that, I have a video on that one. Let me give you some more examples of introduction questions. So what motivates you? What do you know about our company? Yeah. Which accomplishment are you most proud of? And what are your goals in the next 6 months or next 5 years, and so on. And there are many other additional resources available if you want to know more about perhaps the skill-based interview questions. There's a video on that. And if you want to know how to highlight maybe your experience at a coffee shop, I take you through line by line to tell you exactly how you need to, now what you need to write in each line to highlight your competencies and experiences using relevant keywords like this. And so on. So there's a lot of other additional resources. So today we took a look at the different introduction questions and the rationale behind why the interviewers ask these questions, and also shared with you some examples. Well, I'm Professor Job Offer, and I'm here to help you land your next job offer.